Welcome to part 3 of my tutorial where I'll teach you how to make the sign up for lam.shop. God, I'm loaded. Okay, I'm loaded. Alright, yeah. So for the sign up, as you can see, the login and sign up pages are very similar. So they have very minimal differences. It's just that there's a confirm password button. Confirm password field. So um, the logic is quite similar to the login, except um, they're still a little different. So here, yeah, I have another. Here there are two methods: get and post. So if they're just visiting the page, they can sign up. Else, um, yeah, I don't really care if you know they're logged in or not because them being here isn't gonna mess with the login system. So if they're not, if they're posting information on the page, I'll connect to the database file, right? I'll connect to the database and then I'll have another cursor. So again, I'll have username and password and then I'll have trimmed password. So this is a new thing. So I want to make sure that the person who puts in their name doesn't have just spaces, because that's not password. So basically, I take the supplied password, I split it, right? So it trims, basically, it turns it into a list without any of the white space. And then I join it together. I join everything back together. So this is the trimmed password. And then the confirm password is basically what's in this field, right? I don't really care about whether it's trimmed because this is not the confirm. The confirm password isn't the one I'm gonna put into the database. However, I want to make sure that these two passwords match at least. And then if they don't match, we'll just come back to this page and then it'll say passwords do not match. Otherwise, so this is just a step process. Otherwise, if the username isn't alphanumerical, so for example, I have exclamation marks and special characters in my name, it'll flag it out. So I'll have a legit password, right? I'll have a legit password. Oops, I'm gonna take this. Okay, whatever. I'll just type it in again. So ABC, 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 ABC. Yeah, so the username can only contain alphanumerical characters. So in instances like these, right? Let's print, let's just check. Uh, if let's say it's only one character, that's special character, right? It's a special character, and the rest are all, you know, alphanumerical, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And okay, yeah, let's check. Is alnum, right? So let's run this. Yeah, so this is false. So because it's not alphanumerical, because it has one character in it that is not alphanumerical, that makes the entire string not alphanumerical. So this will flag it out. And I also want the username to, uh, you know, have um, to be between 5 to 20 characters, inclusive, right? So if the length of the username is less than 5, or the length of the username is greater than 20, that's either too long or too short. So we'll also flag that out. And then if the length of the trimmed password, which is this, right, after I cleanse all the white space from it, is less than 8, I'll also say that, the password, okay, well, I'll be only counting the um, characters in the password that are not white space. So yeah, it'll say that the password isn't 8 characters, even if they just fill it out, they just pad it out with white space. Otherwise, we'll check if, this username, this user already exists, right? So once, if they meet all these conditions and, uh, their data works, right? Their data isn't illegal. We want to check if the username already exists in the database. So we'll do cursor.execute, which is what we use to execute a query, right? And we'll select username from users where username equals question mark, which again provides a placeholder, prevents SQL injection. And then we'll provide a tuple with, what we want to put into that placeholder. And we'll fetch the first row. So if we were to run that ourselves, right? Let's say we run that ourselves. And, let's say import w3. And then we want to check if um, this user already exists. So we'll put in here, we'll substitute this username for, just a random string. We'll put in admin, right? Now I know admin exists because I'm admin. So yeah, and then we'll print check exists. Now this should return a tuple. Yeah, this will return a tuple with, just admin, because this is what I selected, just the username, and that is what is, that's what's here. So this entire row will just contain this row, this cell, basically. And then let's say I were to put in something that doesn't already exist, right? That is not, because there's no row. You can't fetch a row that doesn't exist, so it's just gonna be none. So I'll check if, if check exists is not none. Basically means I received output. Then uh it'll basically just return this same page, and it'll say, this user already exists. So if I were to do this right now, how do you do this right now? ABC, 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 ABC. I sign up. The user already exists. Otherwise, if it doesn't already exist, meaning check exists is none, we'll have to generate a new salt. So a salt is basically, we have our normal password. Let's say it's ABC123. A salt is basically something that appends to the end of the password. Well, for example, like, oh no, exclamation mark, $, hashtag, right? We know that hashing, even if we change the input by like one character, the resulting hash comes out completely different. So like Y to F3, for example, like that, right? If we were to add a new character, this might become, ZF7 3S, right? So using a hash, using a salt, even if we manage to get a hold of, um, we can't just rainbow table everything, because, you know, the salt completely changes the hash. So we'll turn the password into bytes, because that's why we have to feed into the hash password function, because hashing is it's a mathematical operation. It takes a lot of math, so it uses bytes. And then we have to supply the password and the salt in bytes, and then this will return bytes. So we want to decode this, because we don't want to store bytes into the database. We want to store text, and we'll just turn it back into bytes when we get it back from the database. So now that we have our hashed password and our username, we have a default lam coin, which is 100, and then we'll insert into this users table, and we'll put in, okay, so there's gonna be lam coin here, we'll have an initial starting amount of 100, and then we'll feed into it our username, our hash password, and 100. So this will go in here, this will go in here, this will go in here. So after that, we have to commit the changes to the database, because whatever we do isn't set in stone yet. We have to commit it, and then that will save itself to the database. Otherwise, whatever changes we made don't actually exist. And then after we commit it, we just close it. We just close the connection. We don't care about it anymore, right? We don't have to do anything anymore. And then after we sign up, we'll just redirect them to login, because they just made an account. They should sign into their account. Yeah. So, for example, let's say I create a new account, admin3, ABC, 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 ABC. This will sign me up and redirect me to login, where I can then proceed to key in my password, and it'll log me into my account, which has 100 lam coin, has this username, and a password ABC, ABC, ABC with a salt that's random. Yeah, and that's about it for the sign up.